Hey, hi, this is Mahesh Lakde, and my today's topic name is CICD simplest pipeline. Okay, so many people have fear about this topic CICD, and it have huge demand in the software industry in like a DevOps, like it is an on top priority. That's why I come up with this topic. I found good article on LinkedIn, so I thought like I should share this with you guys. So for this requirement is we require a Git, GitHub, Jenkins, Maven, Ansible, Docker, and Kubernetes. So here Git as a local version control system. So many people will familiar with this Git. Like, Git is like many people using Git as a version control. So you can check on internet for more detail. If you want more detail, I will create a topic on this. So next thing is GitHub. So it is a distributed version control system. Basically, we need to store code inside it in simple terms and maintain the versions. So like purpose of this both Git and GitHub. Next one is Jenkins. So it is a continuous integration tool, and whole pipeline will be stored on this Jenkins. We can create a multiple pipeline like a Groovy pipeline, multi-job plugin pipeline on Jenkins. Next thing is Maven. Maven act as a build tool. There are lots of tools like Ant, Gradle, other tools like Maven. So it is used for building the code. Next one is Ansible. Ansible is used for configuration management tool. Previously, Chef was more popular, but nowadays Ansible is on top priority. It is used for version control. Suppose you are installing some software, so you can like deploy that software using Ansible, and you don't need to worry for installation if you have the code for that software. Next thing is Docker. So Docker is used for containerization. You can store application as a container using images, Docker file. Using that, you can perform all this activity. And then orchestration. Orchestration tool name is Kubernetes. Uh, Kubernetes is more popular, and nowadays people using it. Okay. Now we are going to cover a flow diagram for this simple DevOps project. As we mentioned all tools, here all tools are mentioned. We will start from coding part. So whenever like someone written a code, so that will we need to store in a version control system. After like version control, here in example we are using Git. So from local Git to GitHub will be stored in a like particular branch, and then next thing is like a code will we can like check out from Jenkins for continuous integration. Then for continue like it is a pipeline actually. So it will move to Jenkins to Ansible for continuous delivery. Before that, it will like come to like it is a Docker project. Okay, so we will build the image from Docker file, and then we will push the image to Docker Hub or any like repository, image repository. From there, like we can there we can store our images, and after that, whenever we want to deploy, we can pull that images. Uh, and suppose you want to deploy that inside a Kubernetes, you can deploy using YAML file or Helm chart. Yeah. So we will come to next thing. Now, in this example, we are covering Tomcat server, build and deploy on Tomcat server. So next thing is set up CI/CD with GitHub, Jenkins, Maven, and Tomcat. So first point is set up a Jenkins. First thing we need to set up a Jenkins for all this. So there are lots of document available. You can check on internet. You can install Jenkins easily, and in that you can choose a stable version for installation. Then next thing, set up and configure Maven and Git there. So inside Jenkins, you need to install plugins for Maven and Git. Also, along with that, you can install Git on that system. Next thing, set up a Tomcat server. Next topic name is integrate GitHub Maven Tomcat server with Jenkins. Their integration is required between GitHub Maven Tomcat server with Jenkins. So all these things should be integrated with each other. Then create a CI/CD job for the same. And last topic name is test the deployment. So we are going to cover all this topic one by one. So we will start the first one, deploy artifact on Tomcat server. So initially we need to check this, how it will actually work. So first you need to write a code. Then obviously you should you will write in a version control, that is Git. And then we need to commit the code. After commit, after commit, we need to push to GitHub. And from Jenkins, we can pull that code. After pulling, we will build using Maven, and then next deploy to Tomcat server. After you will get the particular package, and then we can deploy that inside a Tomcat server. Then we'll come to build and deploy on container. Set up a CI/CD with GitHub, Jenkins, and Maven and Docker. Here we need to follow the step like set up a Docker environment, write a Docker file, create an image and container on a Docker host. Then integrate a Docker host with Jenkins. Then create a CI/CD job on Jenkins to build and deploy a container. Okay, so as we mentioned, first point, we need to set up a Docker environment there. Then we need to write a Docker file. In a Docker file, we need to mention a base image. Then whatever commands required for particular application, we need to mention that. So in here, we need to just mention the expose port, then a base image, kind of that. It is a simple one, so we are not going to cover multiple things here. In a master topic, we will cover that. So this is like a diagram, how can we deploy artifact on container. So same like a procedure, we need to write a code, then push to GitHub, then pull from Jenkins, and make a build using Maven, and deploy deploy code inside a Docker image, not directly on Tomcat. This is a step-by-step explanation actually. Initially, we need to create a manual things where we deployed the code inside a Tomcat server in previous image, and then we are pushing put all this code inside a Docker image. Then next step is build and deploy on container. So here CI/CD with GitHub, Jenkins, Maven, Ansible, and Docker. So how we will proceed? So in this, we need to set up an Ansible server here. Then integrate a Docker host with Ansible. We need to integrate it. There are methods you can use. SSH is a popular one, so you can choose that, and keyless authentication as well there, so you can choose that as well. But SSH one is a simple one, so you can use it. Then we need to write an Ansible playbook to create an image. Then create a container using Ansible playbook. Integrate a Ansible with Jenkins. Then next thing, CI/CD job to build a code on Ansible and deploy it on a Docker container. So basically all these steps required. We are integrating Ansible server with Docker, that Docker host, and then proceeding with playbooks. We are not covering all this all concept of Ansible. we will cover in that in a master class. But for understanding overall picture, if you understand, then you can easily proceed with it. Yeah. So how we are planning to go ahead for next topic, like deploy artifact on a container. So here we will write the code, push to GitHub, then pull from Jenkins pipeline. Uh, when we pull inside Jenkins pipeline, next step will be we need to build the code using Maven. Then that artifact we need to copy and like a copy from Ansible and like push or deploy that container inside a Docker. So how it will be proceed actually. So whenever your build will be ready, already we mentioned we need to integrate that Ansible server to Docker host. So when initial step, we need to copy that artifact on Ansible server, and from there we can when image will be create, we need to push that on a Docker hub, and at the time of deployment, same image we will pull using Docker on particular host where we need to deploy it. Yeah, steps inside this build and deploy on a container. So here CI/CD topics we are going to use here, like a CI/CD with GitHub, Jenkins, Maven, Ansible, and Kubernetes. Actually, we are using these names redundantly, but the purpose of this video is basically like who don't know CI/CD, or who is who don't have that much idea on the CI/CD. That's why we are covering this whole topic names again and again. Yeah. So here we need to set up a Kubernetes, and we are going to prefer AWS EKS service. EKS stands for Elastic Kubernetes Service from AWS. Okay. Then for that, we need to write a YAML file and write a pod service and deployment manifest file. Then next thing is integrate Kubernetes with Ansible. Ansible playbook to create a deployment and service. Then CI/CD job to build code on Ansible and deploy it on a Kubernetes. So how it will going to proceed? So we will cover in this diagram, from this diagram. So why we are using same similar image? Actually, we are changing one by one step. That's why we are covering again and again all these topics. So you will clearly understand what exactly we are changing here. So everything from last image, it is almost same up to this. If you can see up to this GitHub pull code, Jenkins, Maven, copy artifact, almost everything is here. Only thing is here we are using Kubernetes instead of Docker. So that is only one change here. Okay. So we will covering some theoretical part. What is CI/CD? What is CI/CD? In this, we are covering continuous integration. Continuous integration means we are whenever we are developing some code. So continuously means we whenever we develop the code, at the same time when commit or push happen, we will integrate that code with existing code, and that is automatically, that we can say continuous integration. And then continuous delivery, many companies not using continuous delivery. Like they will deliver, but after some release or some after 10 days, 15 days, not daily basis, they will perform the continuous delivery. But for dev environment, sometimes they perform the continuous delivery as well. And then continuous deployment. As I mentioned, we can do the continuous deployment in dev environment. And for like staging, production, we can plan accordingly as per team's compatible timing. So here in diagram, we are going to cover how does CI/CD work on AWS. Okay, so continuous for continuous integration, we are planning to use VM here, then source control, then build, then it will go to staging and then production. So actually it is we are mentioning it logically, not using exact names from AWS, but these steps will be involved in this. That's why we are covering it. How does CI and CD working on DevOps side? So as we mentioned in a diagram, so inside a CI there will be we can cover like a GitHub like coding part, then Jenkins. So up to build, we can say that is continuous integration. Continuous integration in a build. Then whenever we want to deploy that code, that will come inside a continuous delivery part. Now we are noting here, like for continuous deployment, we need multiple environment with manual intervention. For the day, we are stopping now. Please subscribe my channel, and I'm going to come up with next part of the same CI/CD pipeline soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.